All still getting there. I can see 1, 2. The G trying to put her as well. She's put down. But think about this.
G'day punters, welcome back to the MacBet post-operation analysis video where we take a dive into the Metro meeting in Queensland on a Saturday. As you can tell by the hats and the long gaze in our eyes, last weekend was Magic Millions weekend, and well, we did all right. We had a good day. We were up on the Little Birdie stream. You boys definitely held your own, backed a few winners. What's the synopsis of the weekend? Had a good time.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It's a long week. I don't know whether I want to do such a long week next year. I think a couple of days is my limit these days. I think the 3 days in a row is just too much. Even though I didn't get on the drink too much, it was sort of like just back to back with work and all that sort of stuff, and plenty of things going on. It was long.
Tom, how's going back to work, mate?
Oh, yeah, it was all right. I actually thrived on the quick backup. I reckon the 3-day bender, I've come through it better than I ever have before. So I'm looking forward to next year. Not sure what John's on about. We had a good day as well, so can't complain.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about staying longer next time as well. So I'm trending in the other direction. But yeah, I think it's a bit of a sink or swim situation on these big weekends. You either just you either keep going or you're flat like me on Saturday night watching the cricket in bed, not even going anywhere. So, but we had a great day. We had a great day Saturday, units wise and stream wise. The stream returned $62 for a $50 unit. So everyone who got involved there would have had a good day. There was plenty of antics from John Walter. So it's something you can rewatch even a week later and still enjoy. So if you got a bit of time, get in there and watch it. But yeah, good to return a result for the punters, guys. How'd you find the stream?
It was good. I think the Baron took over from toys. He sort of really threw the toys out of the cot in one race, and he didn't let go. The toys were put back in the cot, and then they were thrown out again. It was sort of like refused to let it go. So yeah, I'm a bit different to that. I think I can blow up at times, but I think you just got to try to hold it together and just keep on pressing forward.
Yeah, and
I think we handled it very well on the day, to be honest. Don't want to toot our own horn or anything, but we staked accordingly based on our confidence levels on each race, and we ended up making a profit. And you can't ask for much more than that on what was a very tricky day, I feel. Perhaps sometimes it's easy to say in hindsight we could have pulled the trigger a bit harder in races where we could have won, but absolutely can't complain with the result in the end. And as John said, it was bizarre to see how Walter reacted to some of the poor results. Everyone was saying I get a bit emotional and stuff after a loss, but I can definitely say that I held my nerve pretty well on Saturday, I thought. And it was also quite bizarre to see DK at the Yumcha join afterwards, even though I guess it shouldn't be too surprising seeing that he's always raving about Chinese joints, but it's very strange for him not to rock up and then, yeah, see him there at Yumcha after.
He's very firm on the Chinese restaurants, and I think that might have something to do with most of them being BYO. But yeah, he did stand us up on Saturday and didn't come to the stream. But
yeah,
we had
can recommend the it's a good joint there at Broadbeach. John went there the night before. King's Palace down there on the Gold Coast Highway across from the casino. If you're ever down there, give it a go. King's Palace, one to follow for next year. Yeah, Willow 1, 2, 3. There's a black booker.
Our only
one to follow for the meeting.
One to follow. There you go. Our only question on Twitter this week was Willow 1, 2, 3. You wanted to know if Walt made it home okay on Saturday. # Dirty Russians. Obviously was pretty firm on Russian conquest there. He had it marked favourite, and I think he'd bet accordingly. Might have been a couple of all ups leaning on that. But has anyone heard from Walt at all?
No, not me.
I flicked him a message. I'm pretty sure his golf bet got up, so surely he's going okay now.
He's fine. He's mentioned something.
Were you on that? Weren't you on that as well?
No, Harry was, who was there at the stream, but I don't bet on anything that speaks, so no.
Smart.
Yeah. But yeah, a great day and a great week for the service as well. First and foremost, we picked up 12 units last week, 52% profit on turnover. From memory, last few years, Magic Millions Day has been tough for us, and really good to see a net positive result there for the week. And yeah, well, for the year, we're up 21 units, 33%. So absolutely continued our momentum from the end of last year.
Yeah, we've got to keep being consistent. Like I said, at the end of the year, just keep putting them together. Just month after month, you've got to just hold your head above water and just keep punching through. And because once you get about 2 or 3 months, if you do have a couple of, that many losses, your confidence starts to dwindle, and confidence lost, everything lost. So you just no one likes to lose, and so just keep chipping and keep pressing.
Yeah. Now that I've quit work, fucking, we need to keep winning desperately, or else my dog's not eating.
All right, time for the post-operation analysis of the Magic Millions meeting from Saturday at the Gold Coast. Before we jump into the race replays, guys, how did you think the track was going to play, and did that change at all throughout the day?
Played a bit quicker than what we originally thought. I mean, we caught on to the pattern pretty quick that they were running good time, so it was always going to be hard for those to make ground from the back. But in the end, it was pretty even across all the lanes, and it was pretty much tempo dependent. Other than that,
it was surprising to me that it was so even across the the whole course. The previous week we were saying that it wasn't. It was fairly even away from that 3 to 4 lane and out, and it sort of once it dried out a bit and it become very well getting along to what have we had? We have it. Just can't remember what we had. We must have got it to nearly a good 3.
Good 3 in the end.
Yeah, so the track played unbelievable, really. They didn't want to get too far back. If they went 100 mile an hour in some races, that they could run on, but most of the time, up in the first 5 or 6, that was a place to be, and the best horse out of that lot won.
All right, let's dive into race 1 here at the Gold Coast from Saturday. We had a nice win here, 1.5 units on Warmth in the morning at $2.70. Tom, I'll let you talk us through the race.
Yeah, as James said, this was a bet I was happy to have. I think the stars just aligned for this horse, and we probably got away with one here. I was just thinking of the 3 Snowden trials with the form behind Lady of Luxury from gate 1, Tommy Berry on board. It was just all systems go for this race today. He ends up, I think, about 3 pairs back on the fence, and then pretty even run race. They've gone out 0.4 lengths slow and come home 0.3 lengths fast. So definitely an advantage to be up there on the speed in the first couple pairs. Illusionist takes the lead there from the wide gate. She's a horse that just needed to be given her head, and they ended up doing so. I think they tried to restrain her in a few runs as preparation, and she knocked up pretty quickly. Barry does a really good job of edging out at the right time, coming to the middle of the track. The horse still is a little bit green, wanted to duck out, and then Barry does a good job of getting the stick into the right hand when it starts to lay in and straighten her up. But I think with blinkers, this horse Warmth can definitely be followed. I know to the eye, there's nothing really fantastic in the times she's come home in are a bit average, but it was a pretty solid win. The 2 horses to follow definitely out of the race, so the second and third horse. So Devil's Throat to come back gelded first up. It had to be snicked from the wide gate. Back and wide was a really hard position to win from on the day. Comes home in the 7th, fastest last 200 of the meeting, and just couldn't. It was just impossible to win from where it was from the position and run. And Golan's horse, Ambitious Spirit, it had blinkers on for the first time, 50 days between runs. It's gone enormous. I think watch the start of the race. He gets caught 3 and 4 wide in a very tricky position once Jackson on time and Sing a Love Song held a position closer than what everyone thought. This is a horse that's always showed ability. They always said the blinkers were going to improve the horse, because I think even going back to that Gold Coast run 2 back when we threw a bomb on it that day to get beat by Holbert's horse, who's a dead set leader on a leader's track. Just wanted to do a bit wrong, duck in and duck out, but the blinkers really sharpened him up here, and it's fair to say he's got a fair bit of ability going forwards and should be winning wherever he goes next.
Yeah, I thought the thing to take out of that race was that it was a bit strange how the time wasn't there for this quality of maiden. It was a bit surprising. You would think that they might have gone a couple of lengths quicker than what they did overall. So, it may not be as good a reference or form reference going forward as what usually it is. I do think what Tom's saying is right. Ambitious Spirit went like a bomb. I think Maloney probably made a blue in the first couple of 100 metres. He could have snuck in, I thought, and he just stayed out a little bit. And then all of a sudden they snuck up on the inside of him. I think he could have been a little bit more forceful and pushed and shoved his way in, and then he may have won. But overall, some okay horses, but a little bit disappointing on time.
All right, moving on to race 2 here, the 1800 meter race. We had 1 unit on Love Tap in the morning at $5, and we had half unit on both Green Jacket and Big Boy Roy. Big Boy Roy got the cash in the green Chris Waller colours. John?
Yeah, this was a race I just wanted to bet against Wheelhouse. I was just thinking he was very much suited the other day, and he was very short. He was around the even money shot at one stage. He got out in the market and then he firmed late, which was surprising to me. They went along a bit quicker than I thought. I think they made a blue on Love Tap trying to push and shove early. Clark should have been just coming out and letting Big Boy Roy cross him straight away, and then they would have dictated the race and made it just a sprint home, and start sort of getting going around about the 500, and Wheelhouse wouldn't have got quite close to them. But just early they sort of pushed and shoved a bit, which helped Wheelhouse and helped it get into pretty much just got beaten 3.5 lengths. But I think the way that the race was run helped it a little bit more than what we were giving it. Overall, we pretty much got horses, averaging around about the 430 mark in our prices. So, Wheelhouse has definitely gone to around the 430. Big Boy Roy's gone to a little bit better than market. Went along okay, got the distance, which I was a little bit concerned with. If I would have thought that the breed got the distance pretty strong, I would have been it would have been the one I would have had the 1 unit on. But I was a bit suspect, as I should have been with Love Tap as well, because it's a little bit sus as well. But anyway, we got away with something.
Yeah, not much else to say. Big Boy always put a hole in them, and the others coming off that bog track at the Gold Coast, gone onto a firm track here, haven't been able to replicate what they did last start. And as the margin suggests, there's a long tail here. Green Jacket's probably been ridden a bit too close here, I feel, for a fast run 1800 meters with the blinkers going on for the first time. So perhaps one to forgive for future reference, but I'm not really sure where they go with a horse like that. He's a bit of a pain these days, Green Jacket. And Xenifer, I think, just showed last start was completely suited on a wet track as well, even though she's probably been ridden a bit upside down early here. Took a fair while to find a position. It was a pretty poor read by Ben Thompson, trying to be that aggressive on this horse early, I feel.
All right, race 3 on Saturday was a 2400 meter race. We didn't end up having a bet, but Navy Cross got the cash at $16 SP. Tom?
Yep, there was a sprinkling of money for this horse before the race. I was happy to kind of dodge the race. I had the eventual favourite, Parry Sound, who started about 350. We had it about 350 in the end. We actually got really close to the market. So there was no value there, especially for a 2400 meter race. Funny things can happen. You're banking on a lot of horses getting the distance. So yeah, I was just happy to stay out. Navy Cross speeds to the front from the wide gate, sets up a pretty genuine tempo, goes 6 lengths faster than average, and just takes a lot of horses out of their comfort zone. Fun fact, lands in that second trailing position for Brock Ryan, the grey. He was always a question mark at 2400 meters. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what else to say about this race. J-Mac ends up settling in the fourth position there in the red and the yellow colours, your 350 favourite, probably settled a bit closer than what everyone else had anticipated, but was unable to replicate his last start performance, which was 2,000 metres at in Sydney Metropolitan grade the start prior with 53, and got penalised for that win and had to carry 59 here. Did have J-Mac to kind of offset that, but was kind of flat towards the end of the race, I feel. The market also had a good look at this Outlandos horse. It was the horse with a bit of upside, bit of an unknown, a John Sargent stayer on the rise. It's come home strongest to the line. Not really surprising though. It and Rebel Rama's side, both dissident, they're really strong stayers. So I would have loved to have got something out of the race, seeing that bloody Wapiti was your $4.50 in the market really early. It's a horse that I think we've talked about previously. It's really hard to get it close to the market, but it's a horse that's getting up in the weights now against much better quality horses, getting really deep in its preparation. And I think it's a horse that we've always thought would be subject at 2,000 metres, would struggle. And especially at a fast run, 2,400 metres would be a struggle. I know Navy Cross has kind of been suited by the track pattern here, but to only be fourth up, setting a tempo like this, he's only third up, setting a tempo like this, going from the mile to 2,000, 2,400, it's probably done a reasonable job to stuck on the way it has.
Yeah, I haven't got too much to say, just that Navy Cross probably improved 5 lengths, just gone through the roof on our figures. Once it's probably gone about 2.5 lengths worse, but geez, it's just jumped big time. We couldn't get it anywhere near that figure, going into the race, but did a good job. It ran along, kept going. Don't know whether there's too many chasers there. That's the only problem.
All right, diving into race 4 at the Gold Coast. Snap Dancer won this one at SP'd $4. We had 2 bets in the race. We had 1.5 units on Snap Dancer in the morning at $3.60, and the 1 unit on Brookspire at $4.80. Snap Dancer's wearing the yellow silks with the blue sleeves.
Yeah, once this horse jumped and went forward, it was pretty much all over. This horse can come out a little bit slow, but McDonald sort of pushed it, shoved it to second there on the outside. They walked in front, nothing took it on. Volpine, I think, had the blinkers off, and he didn't tear away. They were trying to control it, and so all those back markers were just in real trouble. You can see a lot of them checking and carrying on, and even Georgie's Pride, she didn't come out that quick like she normally does. She was tucked away in that 5th position, and they all just found their spots, and that was the end of it. They went out slow. I think according to punting form, they've gone out 4.7 slow, and we've got it about 7.9 slow. So they've definitely gone slow, and this horse has just picked up and gone. Perfect example of a horse that just been targeted for this race. Only had pretty much the one run in a long time, ready for this. Few trials, just peaking on this day. Just went good last year in this race, and just put them away. Horses that gone good. Crone went all right. I think it's come back okay. That's it. Where's that? Crone is in the red
midfield
colours.
in the
In the red colours.
Midfield
there.
with the red cap.
Yeah. Coming to wide, and the other one is in the white colours. Van Gears, it went quite good as well. They're sprinting here. It's pretty hard for them to make ground, and they have made ground. So I think they're 2 horses to follow. Apart from the winner, you can't take anything away from him because he's ran away from him. That's what I like when I see a horse that has raced up on the speed, even in a slow run race, but put a gap on him. They usually just maybe put a length on them because they're just sprinting, and it's hard to put a gap on them. But she did. So nice win by Snap Dancer. Crone improving all the time. It was fat the other day, improved here, and Van Gears went good.
Yeah, I think you look at Snap Dancer as well when he goes through the line. There is a prick there. There's obviously more under the bonnet that J-Mac hasn't got to the bottom. So definitely one to follow. Brookspire, probably a forgive for me. The blinkers went on for the first time, has come back in a slow run, back in distance into a slow run race. She just pulled her head off the entire way and failed to finish off. It's been a long preparation for her, so they'll probably tip her out now, and she'll come back better next preparation. The horse I'm actually going to follow out of the race is a bit different to John. I think this is going like an absolute bomb, and that's Salatine. She settled towards the rear of the field, second last pair with the black cap and the Rosemont colours. She was caught, well, Maloney was caught daydreaming a bit, I think, out there. Go watch at the 600, kind of caught off the bit early when they sprinted away. And to me, she was the best through the line. And I think this has definitely got group ability, Salatine. She's come a long way this preparation through the grades, and I can't wait to see what's in store next campaign for her.
All right, moving on to race 5 here. The Tony Gollan camp and Isotope finally got their revenge. We'll let you take us through the race.
Right now, here we go.
Yep. So Away Game is your eventual leader. She jumps from gate 1 with the black silks on. The Ma stable and connections, obviously, they have Snap Dancer in the previous race. They've clicked to the track pattern that you need to be up there. You can't be giving horses too much of a head start. I think this is really taken away from the win of Isotope here is obviously very impressive, coming off such a long layoff and being able to put them to the sword pretty easily here. But this isn't the real Away Game. I think you can definitely forgive this effort. I think I spoke a lot about it before the race. This horse's 2 best performances, in my opinion, have been both at Caulfield and both been ridden cold towards the rear of the field and had a bunny to chase and showed her a turn of foot that way. Here they've ridden her on speed. They've gone 2.5 lengths faster than average, and she just hasn't settled and failed to put in it towards the end of her race like she usually does. I don't really want to take away the win from Isotope though. Like, it was pretty impressive as well. She's gone away from them on the line, as John said in the previous race with Snap Dancer. I think we didn't have any units on the race, but I actually chucked something on Tycoonist each way, and I think it's gone pretty good here, back onto a firm track. Even though I thought it would get an easy lead in the front, it settled midfield here, but the horse is dead set flying and very progressive for the Wallace stable. Other than that, there wasn't really anything to take out of the race, I feel. Rohirrim can definitely be forgiven from the run. Copped a really bad check once he was done to get into the race. Bailey shifted out on, I think it was Totally Charmed, who ended up bleeding, and we won't see him again at the races ever again, unfortunately. And Bailey won't be seen for 2 weeks. I think he's on a holiday now after being suspended, but full credit to Isotope. She's back, and it's going to be pretty exciting to see where she goes next. The market dead set nailed it, but it's pretty much one-way traffic for her in the end. And she took the jump alongside, I think it was, forget who the horse was, last preparation, small margin to the Snowden horse, who ended up being narrowly beaten by Nature Strip and winning a Group 1. She looks on a similar path.
Yeah, Isotope just a great win. That long break. Full credit to Gollan for able to get it to this sort of stage. Getting it back in pretty much peak fitness for this type of thing, because they've had to work early. Then she eased, and then she's put them to the sword. So it's just a solid win. And pretty much if he wants to give her a month break and then go again with her, I think she's got lengths left in her. Thought a horse for the other sort of normal type of Class 6 type of race, Dream Reacher, I thought went really good. That's it out wide in the Gillian Heinrich colours. It worked hard, wanted to put in down the straight for a little bit, and then had to give up. Trial really good prior to it. I think it'll get away with a lot easier race than this pretty quickly.
Right, jumping into race 6 here. This one was won by 11:11, SP'd $8.50, and John, it was your race, not a betting race for us.
Yeah, we've got the pace of this race a bit better, a bit different to punting form. I don't think they've gone out as fast as what they have got it. I think they got there and then they eased. I thought 11-11, another perfect example of a trainer just getting it ready for this one race. Just perfectly done. Was always going to be a little bit suspect at the 1400, but it just perfect ride, just snuck up between him and got the cash. It's the horse in the red cap on number 4 there in the blue sleeves, yellow and red stripes. It's gone pretty good. Holyfield, I didn't like. So I was sick when it got up on the inside and looked the winner. I was sort of thinking I was, a complete imbecile when it loomed. Apache Chase, it was always a matter of whether you could go back to its Eagle Farm runs and then give it that figure, and it did run to those figures. What else was there? Sir Rocket, surprisingly, improved effort on its week, or not week, but a class that's well below this last start. It sort of jumped a little bit. It's in the yellow behind the leaders. But apart from that, I thought Nudge had a chance in this race, but the pace of the race was against it, and I think the way the track was playing was totally against it. That's why we dropped off it. That's it, back on the fence. Last, it's just always going to get in trouble. These type of horses, Nudge. You want to tip them because they're going good, but they need a lot of luck in run, and only probably 10% of the time they get the luck to win. So you don't want to be on them, especially when they're one of the favourites.
Yeah, it's a tricky race to get your head around, especially given the sectionals. The leaders have gone out even and sprinted home pretty quick. So it was always difficult for those horses worse than midfield to get into the race. I think Kementari jarred up. That was a bit frustrating to see after I took a set against him last start. I think Bo Ross has actually gone okay here. I think he was caught midfield in that wide position working on the pretty genuine tempo. And looked completely gone at one stage of the straight, but managed to find again second up. Was short of a run there at Doomben on a soft track last start and has improved again here, but I'm not really sure where they go to. I think a couple of these we'll probably see them in 2 weeks' time. I think it's the Calandra Cup or something like that, up at the Sunny Coast over 1,400 metres. It'll be interesting to see a horse like Sir Rocket go there. He's only an 85 rater, so he'll probably be down on the weights, and if he can replicate this run, I know this was his home track on a quick backup, but I think Costa's definitely got the horse flying now. He's always had his issues, but seems to have unlocked the key to him here and definitely run out 1,400.
All right, moving on to race 7 here. It's the 2-year-old Magic Millions Classic. As everyone knows, won by Coolangatta, SP $1.95. We had a little half unit on Russian Conquest in the morning at $6.50.
Yeah, I was always sort of trying to get Coolangatta beat, but I was, it was only because of what I seen in the yard. But she did the same thing in the yard. She was a little bit stirred up, but that's her by the look of it. She's gone back to what her win was at Randwick, her figure around that figure. Perfect ride by McDonald, just pushed out, got it into the right spot. And then just went at the right time, just didn't get stuck on the inside. He peeled out 3 wide so that he was able to go whenever he wanted to. And Russian Conquest had to give Coolangatta a couple of lengths start, and that was a bit too much. Russian Conquest tried really hard, peeled off its back there. I thought we had a chance there to run down the fave, but she was just too good. She's no complete star, that's for sure and certain. But there's nothing wrong with her. She's it was a solid win, but as you can see, Russian Conquest sort of was not a bound or so. It beats the other one. So we were just out. Apart from it, a lot of horses that just went fair. I think we pretty much said there was only about 3 chances. I don't think Miss Hellfire or whatever it was backed up. It was running second there and just weakened out of it. Thought it had a hope, but it was gone. And even the horse Snitcat, it chased home Russian Conquest the other day and went quite good. It ran on for third. It wasn't a complete shock to run into third. But all in all, pretty much, I think Coolangatta started shorter than what it should have, but they got the cash.
Yeah, not much else to add there. When J-Mac logged in the second pair, kind of knew we were fucked, to be honest. But yeah, Russian Conquest has obviously done a really good job. It'll be interesting to see how Coolangatta progresses going into a slipper campaign. Obviously, she might be suited. Well, given her frame, you'd think she'd be suited on a wet track, but J-Mac was adamant she'd improve on a dry track. So it'll be interesting to see whether she can kind of grow in and take on the Sydney Brigade once they step out. Russian Conquest has obviously got ability, but not sure the rest of them do in this race, to be honest.
Okay, moving on to race 8 at the Gold Coast. King of Sparta got the cash here, SP $4, and this one wasn't a betting race for us.
Yeah, this is one of the races that they did make a lot of ground from back in the field, but they went 7 lengths above average, so they had to run on. Pretty much, the best run of the race is Dovetailed Diva. It's the one crossing and leading. It's gone 7 lengths above and kicked on and run 5th. It's gone really good, this horse. I didn't think it had it in it, but nothing wrong with it. I think the thing to take out of this is, horses that are a bit suspect at distances, you've got to knock them around, because to get King Sparta into about $3, and even Mimi Lagarde getting into that price, they either knew there was going to be a heap of speed on, or the market just hammered a lot of these horses, thinking they can't get 1400. And it's something you got to really think about, because if they don't get the distance, any figure you take off is probably not enough. And if you think they haven't got a distance, put a line through it. If they can't get the distance, put a line through them, because they're taking up a lot of your market, and you're not really on the horses that you think have got the chances. You're sort of sitting on the fence, and you can't sit on the fence in this game.
Yeah, especially when it was going to be a fast run 1400 as well. Like, it wasn't going to be a slow run 1400 where if you're sitting on the fence, some might get it and some won't. This was going to be a fast run 1400 in a high pressure race. You really could penalize ones that you're thinking were suspect at the distance. It was just amazing, the flow of money for King of Sparta. And these big races, the big teams, they continually get it right, and you've got to reverse engineer to figure out how they got there in the end. They really did start to gap Starman at their death. We saw on the quick backup, he probably hasn't run the distance. We saw him at 1400 at Randwick fail, and then he stepped back to 1200, bolted in, and they've gone back to 1400. You're none. Gapped him late. They did come for Jamea, but she was pretty unlucky there on the inside. Who else? They really took a set against Rhapsody Rose. They were saying the Eagle Farm performance weren't blaming Eagle Farm jarring up. They were just saying you're completely gone and suspect of fast run 1400. Indiscreetly was like $8 out to 21s. Had to do too much work from the wide gate, 4th up. From the outside gate, first preparation, just completely gapped it. I Am Lethal was a little bit of a drifter. It's gone okay, and Brody said in the yard it's a really nice type. It's hit the line best out of some of these, and it's still lightly raced. I think it was its 6th start for in its second preparation. Excited to see where it can go, because it's made big leaps and bounds this preparation, that horse.
All right, moving on to race 9 at the Gold Coast, the lucky last. Wisdom of Water got the cash here at $8 and wasn't a betting race for us.
No, it wasn't. The speed here, they ended up going, I think, 3 lengths faster than average. So key position to be in the run's probably that midfield position. You probably don't want to be leading, but you don't want to be getting too far back either. Wisdom of Water in the Aquas colours there, the light aqua blue with the blacks kind of crosses. Rachel King, I think she jumps from an outside gate. It might have been 14 or something, 15. No, sorry, 13. She gets from barrier 13, slots in one off the fence, does a really nice job to get it there. Kind of kicking myself. This was definitely a race that I entertained betting into and ended up staying out. The two horses that I think kind of had shorter than the market, Wisdom of Water and Chapter and Verse, have kind of run first and third here. Chapter and Verse was primed fourth up going into a high pressure race. He ran enormous in this race last year and done the same here. The market, I was surprised, really stuck with Miami Flies. We had it much longer than the market. It's kind of a horse that we always have had always longer than the market because she keeps making jumps through the grades without doing anything in particularly flash on the clock at both ends. But she's had to work again from a wide gate. She missed the start, settled midfield, wasn't given too much of a chance, but she begins to hang in throughout the race again, which is a bad habit we saw at the end of last campaign. I thought 1300 was always going to be a test for her in a fast run race as well. And I guess she's probably done an okay job given the run she's had, but probably not up to these to warrant the price that she started, in my opinion. I think one of the horses to take out of the race most definitely is Boom Nova. It's done a fair bit of work from the wide gate to eventually take up the lead and turned around a pretty disappointing performance on the gluey surface there at the Gold Coast last start and has made a huge ratings jump. I think she's only a 73 rater and she was carrying 54 kilos against a lot of horses here who are 90 raters, and on a fast speed has hung on here for second. I know has probably been suited by a fast track, but she's done an enormous job and can't wait to see where she goes next preparation.
Yeah, it's very fit horse Boom Nova now, and the Munstable's going pretty good at the moment. But the run of the race is Chapter and Verse, so it just should have won. Went around the middle of the track. Halfway down the straight, you say it's going to still win somehow, and it kept on going and run third.
Yeah.
So
just been beaten by a horse with an easier run, just weaving through the pack.
Yeah, it's gone like a bomb, that horse. It's built like a brick shithouse too. That's the problem with that type of horse. You never know when it's fit or if it's fit enough in the yard, because it's just such a chunk. And just got to these big heavy horses just trying to hold them together. But Des has done a good job with that horse. It's she should have got away with the cash there. She's been a bit unlucky with Apache. It sort of raced well and's only got beaten a little way. The horses are going still going good, but it's the one to take out of the race, Chapter and Verse.
All right, that concludes our post-op analysis of the Magic Millions meeting on Saturday at the Gold Coast. Boys, we'll grab one horse to follow from each of you. We'll grab John's first.
I'm going to go to race 5, the Gold Coast horse called Dream Reacher. I'm just going to try to find one that's going to be racing pretty shortly and quickly and around a lot easier race than this one. Started, what did it start? Around $100 in this race. We've repriced it around 14. So I think it's going to be hard to beat when it reappears.
Tom?
Yep, I'm going to make a bold statement and say Salatine will be winning a group race next preparation. Really like the progression she's made this preparation, and just love the way that she found the line there against better quality horses.
All right, thanks, guys. Well, yeah, that wraps up our analysis and our betting for the Gold Coast Carnival. We've got a big week ahead of us back here, back up north. What have we got on Wednesday? Ipswich. We've got Sunny Coast night meeting on Friday, Doomben and Gatton on Saturday, and then usual Sunny Coast meeting on a Sunday. Anything jumping out early there, boys?
Oh, not really, I don't think.
No, I say nothing. I'm Sergeant Schultz. Wait for tomorrow.
Wait for tomorrow, yeah. Bloody
I will be at
Ipswich,
the races on Sunday. I'll be up the races on Sunday. I'll be going up there for the yard. So, I'll be there. I missed the last week. It was a bit too much of a backup last weekend, but I'll be there on Sunday.
Yeah, I wasn't going up. There was no chance of me going up last Sunday. I think I spent the day in bed eating Indian food and reviewing Northern Rivers races while the cricket was on the side. Quite enjoyed that, actually, day off. But I think I'll be going up Friday night for the yard, providing I don't catch the bat virus between now and then.
The vid. If you've survived Magic Millions weekend without getting COVID, you'll never get it, I don't reckon.
Yeah, for sure. it's amazing how I haven't got it yet. Fingers crossed.
Well, my Sunday was spent at the casino. I caught the NFL early because I was fresh and watched the cricket and watched Jetfoil get rolled at $1.40 at Lismore.
Oh yeah,
We got fratted.
That was bad. Yeah, I think that horse has gone all right. I reviewed the meeting yesterday. Absolutely crawled in front. So given it was always going to be hard to run down the leader, especially when you're buried on the rails, turning track like that. When they go that slow in front, it's just really hard to catch the leaders in those scenarios.
Just put triple on it next time, it'll be winning. Just went huge. Just couldn't, a miracle how it got within a length of them. It was just ridiculous.
Brad's fault or just unlucky?
Oh, they just stopped in front of it and they just kept on getting shuffled back. The pace of the race was, stuffed and he couldn't get to the outside quick enough. And, even though he got to the outside, when they're sprinting home, what can they do? He's made up ground on them. If they stay at that distance, draws a gate in town, just take it back to town. It'll win in town.
I actually stopped it. I went in the early crow at the 150 or the 200, so I'll put my hand up on that one. Apologies, boys.
Oh, jeez.
I was slapping high fives and planning what I was going to get for lunch. Anyway, big week ahead for us, guys. Make sure you head to macbet.com.au for all the analysis. Get yourself a weekly or a monthly subscription. You'll hear the boys in the yard for as many meetings as we can. I'd say pretty much all of them this week. But thanks guys for your time, and we'll hear from you next week.
Yeah, thanks boys.
Sweet.
Thanks guys.
Thank you.